Okay. Will there be, Savannah Hall, will there be more Nick Mobblepot scenes? I believe so, yes. How could there not be? Working with Corey is the best. And yeah, I think, you don't find chemistry with people that you work with as easily as I found it with Corey, and I hope that reads on screen, and yeah, I don't know. He's a great friend. I also have to tell you guys that tonight is the Gotham Season 2 wrap party. So I will be sure, if you want me to say anything to Corey will be there, Cameron will be there, Drew Powell will be there as well. Ben may be stopping by, I hope so, but with the little one, he might not make it. But yeah, like, if you have anything fun you want me to say to them, let me know. Okay, I have to get back to these questions. Okay, Brandon Spar, how do you feel? How does it feel to play a criminal mastermind? To play a criminal mastermind is amazing. I mean, it's fun to play someone who's so much smarter than I am. Like someone who could actually play chess and know what the heck they're doing. Whereas there's me who sits down and I don't know anything and I get bored within like 20 minutes. So yeah, if you've ever seen that movie Accepted that I did, that ADD character is really not that far from what I'm like in real life. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, playing Criminal Mastermind is great. Anil Maharaj says, "When are you gonna get fat?" Ha. Never, if I can help it. We have amazing things called fat suits. I would love to wear that. I think, yeah, my cholesterol just wouldn't. I don't think I could do it. But makeup is amazing. So, well, hopefully that'll happen somewhere down the line. Okay, let's see, what else? Oh man, Batman or Superman, says Michael Caparelli. Of course, Batman. I mean, I do love Superman. In fact, the Superman film with Christopher Reeve, well, all of them really, but really the first one with Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder was the first blockbuster comic book movie I can really remember so clearly. It was the first one to really come around, and it really changed my life. And it's funny, like you look back at that iteration. And it's just, I mean, Amy Adams and Henry Cavill are fantastic, and they have chemistry. But Margot Kidder and Christopher Reeve will just forever be Clark and Lois for me. But anyway, but I have to go with Batman because, it's Batman. And Batman's, he's a human being. And, I always got to give it up for my fellow Earthlings, I guess, if they were going to fight. But I don't know, if you guys haven't seen that yet, I really, really enjoy Batman vs. Superman. It's a really, really satisfying experience, I think, going into it with the right mindset. Like, I have to say, like, of all of the superhero films, recently, this one really honestly felt like I was reading a graphic novel. Like, it felt like, it didn't have a traditional arc that movies have. It sort of spun out as though I was, turning the pages. And for that, I really, really enjoyed it. And I think, I think the people who really enjoy that film go into it with that expectation. Like, I think, like, traditional film critics probably don't have that in their brains when they're going in to see the film, and that may have explained why there was some sort of, well, but who cares? It's the #1 movie, so whatever, who cares? I'm moving on. Okay. You're seeing one in IMAX, says Zach Croft. Very good. Good choice. Let's see. Can't wait to, okay. Okay, Chase Briv says, how do you prepare your legs to walk with a limp like I do? I have 2 quarters in my right shoe. It's an old acting class trick from this very famous, well-renowned acting teacher, Stella Adler. And her whole thing was, if you have like some sort of impairment, like on stage, I think it was specifically in reference to Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, the Tennessee Williams play. Brick, the lead character played by Paul Newman in the film, has a broken leg. She was a proponent of putting a rock in your shoe or something to make the illusion as real for you as possible. So yeah, I totally took a page off of that, and also because there was one day in the first season where I completely forgot to limp, and it was a really big shot. And it's the shot when Oswald comes back to Gotham City that first time, and we were in Chinatown, and it was hot and crazy, and things were, I don't know, we didn't have a lot of time, and and I got back where I did the scene where he gets off the bus and turns around, and then I like walked off into the distance. That was the original scene, and I got back to where I was sitting, and I sat down, and I was like, I flipped out. I was like, I forgot the limp. I forgot the limp. I went to the director. They were like, it's okay, we'll cut around it. But I was like, I was kicking myself because I was like, you have one thing to do. You have one thing to do, and that's limp. And I completely forgot it and biffed the whole thing. And so since then, that's when the quarters, at first it was a bottle cap, now it's quarters in the shoe happens so that I don't forget ever again. Although now at this point, granted that was 3 episodes in, now at this point it's very second nature. I mean, I feel like once I'm in the costume and the makeup and everything, all the limp, all of that just kind of comes, it's so second nature now. But I will say it's not the foot that's messed up that hurts the most, it's actually the other leg that hurts the most because I end up spending all day standing on that leg, walking with, and it's funny, like, if people will ask me all the time, they'll be like, do you ever find yourself off, when I'm not working, like, do you ever find yourself limping? And I was like, never. I was like, limping sucks. Ask anyone who has an actual limp, and they will tell you, no, if they had a choice, it would never happen. And so, yes, no, it never, ever happens. I get out of work, and that stuff is put away until the next time. And, like, so yeah, I never accidentally limp. Anyway, okay, I'm just totally rambling, and I apologize. Oh, man, okay. In real life, when do you feel your inner penguin coming out? Oh, that's a good one. I'm sorry, I missed your name. Kayla Morin. Okay, when do I feel my real, okay, well, when I'm riding a subway, and I'm getting on a subway, and I'm trying to get off the subway, and people coming onto the train will not let me off. It usually has to do with, like, public transportation or driving. I think all of us turn into Oswald Cobblepot's when we're, like, trying to get somewhere as fast as possible, and someone is being a real dingus in front of you, like, whether it's on the highway or if it's on the stairwell. Another thing, please, if you visit New York, just do this for me and think about this. Okay, when you get off the train, make it your mission to get on the street or wherever you're going as fast as possible. When you step off the train, if you start to check your phone right away and you're looking down at your phone, that's when the penguin is coming out. It drives me up the wall. I mean, people can't go for, like, I mean, the fact that, like, people can't go that long without checking their phones and instead are, like, meandering up the stairs, taking forever looking at their phones, drives me crazy. So yes, that's when the penguin comes out. This is so so boring. Okay. Oh, hey, Batman's here. Louis Van Doren. Hey, what's up, dude? Am I high? No, I'm not high. Do I like penguin style? I do, actually. I do. I think it's that was Davey Anderson. Davey, hi. I do like his style. I think it's. I mean, the costumes that in our first season, our costume designer was nominated. Her name is Lisa Padavani, and she created this look for Oswald, especially in the first season, and just nailed it out of the park. It makes all of our jobs so much easier when what we're wearing is so, I don't know, it's so iconic and beautiful. And also, nothing that I would ever wear in real life. As you can probably tell, I am black t-shirt, black jeans all the time. And that's my style. But it's fun to play pretend, to play dress up, to wear something, really beautiful that, I would never wear normally. And yeah, it helps me create the character. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Yep. Hey, Cater Kurt. Okay, so how hard is, I already answered that. It's this whole thing with these, like I just sort of, like, spend a good chunk of the time just sitting here being like, well, what's a good question? All right, okay. What's my favorite scene so far? Cheyenne Rosalie Bojorquez, I believe. My favorite scene so far, there's a lot of them. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is the scene from the pilot with me and Jim on the pier. Ben could not be more lovely and wonderful person to work with, and also he's, in a weird way, we're the same age essentially, but I see him as a mentor to me, and like because he's been very well known and he's been working for a long time, and when I was shooting that scene in the pilot, like that was the first day where I felt the enormity of what was happening to me, and like it all just kind of came together in this crazy moment where I felt like I had stepped outside of myself, and I was looking down at this insanely crazy scene with the car and the boats, and we're on the water, and I was just like in that moment I felt my life just completely change. And it was, and which is to say that it was incredibly satisfying and exciting, but at the same time, like totally terrifying, absolutely, completely terrifying. Like I never, you don't expect to be part of something like this and something this big and this, just this epic and grandiose. And so I was completely unprepared for that, and unprepared in many ways. Like unprepared to have people who know who I am, and I always thought of myself as someone who would hopefully have a career as an actor, but would sort of be that guy that you're like, oh my gosh, that guy was in that thing, and it was in like 20 other things, but you never know his actual name. Like that was always kind of like my goal. So anyway, I was there watching this enormous scene happen, and I was with Ben, and he was there, and he was open, and he was there to talk to me. And he talked to me about what this all means, and how to, maintain true to yourself and like not get overwhelmed or upset or freaked out by the whole thing. And I will forever be indebted to him for his kindness and for his intelligence and just being present with me. And and then I think when I watched that scene, that of course because I was there, that's what I'm responding to. I'm responding to this big moment, and I'm seeing myself being so scared and so freaked out, and then I'm seeing Ben being there, like just like helping me process all of this. And it's just I think it's a really beautiful moment, and it's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. I know that. Oh man. Okay. Oh, here we go. Some more. Oh, okay. So Sean Schultz, Penguin, has this tension where he seems to be seeking power, redemption, and approval at various times. He's tormented. Is that something that attracted you to the character? And as an actor, oh my gosh, there's some more. How do you try to draw that out? Well, I think all of us have. I think we all seek to be empowered in some way, and I think we all are looking for approval, and I think everyone experiences a certain level of torment. I mean, obviously nothing as big as what we're showing in the show, but I responded to his torment and his ambition. Like everyone always says, like what's the one word to describe Oswald, and the first thing I always go to is ambitious, because this is someone who was counted out for the majority of his life, and he always felt like an outsider, and yeah, he, and I felt that way. I felt that way a lot in my life, and also, I'm sure as many of you know, like going back through the comics, Oswald was a bullied kid, something I completely identified with, and feeling different, and also feeling like being treated like less of a person because you don't fit the standard of what of what is laid out in front of you or wherever you're growing up. So yeah, so that spoke to me. And to be honest, it's not hard to draw out. In fact, I'm like really happy that I had this opportunity to bring such a human, like tangible feeling that we all understand, to bring that to a super villain that's been around for 76 years, to tie him to a common experience that so many of us share, was something that really, really attracted me to this character, and it spoke to me since from the audition until today, and will carry me all the way through. So yeah, I don't know if any of this makes any sense. Okay, hi. So someone in it looks like Russian says hi. Hello. How do I imagine Oswald will return to his old self? Well, I don't think we ever return to our old selves. I think we, and I wouldn't want that. Like, I think what he's going through right now is profound. And I think, like, we could only imagine what is our identity if the stuff that really upsets us, if our true response to things is altered. Like, like, who are we? Like, who are we? Like, there's no going back from that. That's what's happened to him. I think, and you will see how he, you know, reconciles himself to this new paradigm that is his personality and the way he's experiencing the world. But I don't think he'll never truly go back to what came before. Like, now he has this whole other understanding, this whole other experience that from here on out is going to inform who he is as a person. And I'm really excited about that too, because any sort of way to incorporate this new penguin who's like, really sweet, tragic, remorseful person, I think I love the idea of incorporating that into what we had established before this moment. So hopefully he'll never be fully back to the way he was. But I think that will make him all the more interesting and dynamic for people to watch. All right. Okay. Will I be at someplace like a Comic-Con, says Nancy Vega Lopez. Yeah, I will. I'll actually be this weekend. I'll be in Jacksonville. So if you're down Florida way, come say hi. And then the weekend after, a bunch of us are all going to be at Nashville Walker Stalker, which will be really exciting. And so also the best thing is that, like, so now I get, like, because I had the incredible privilege of being on 2 episodes of Walking Dead, and then now because of Gotham, like, the people who organized the Walking Dead themed the Walking Dead themed cons, the Walker Stalker, they love having the Gotham people there, and then I get to see Norman, and I get to see Steven, and I get to see all those lovely people from that show that, unfortunately, as we all know, I didn't have the longest run on Walking Dead, but the fact that all these people are still in my life is so freaking amazing. And so so if you're in Jacksonville or if you're in Nashville, come say hi. I think sometime in June I'll be out at Blackpool, so if you're in the UK, come say hi there. Okay, this sounds like a commercial, so enough of that. All right, let's see. Jake Yarborough, do you watch Supergirl? I do watch Supergirl, and I do. Oh my gosh, that's the other thing too, is that I love, like, we have these, like, weird connections with these other shows, and it's not weird, but, like, all of the DC shows for, like, Warner Brothers events, or for, like, other kind of things, we get to see the cast of Flash, and Grant Gustin is fantastic. Melissa from Supergirl, just amazing, and both of those shows, the showrunner creator is Greg Berlanti, who is just another just wonderful person. I could not be more honored to be in the same boat, or in the same universe as the Flash and Supergirl and Arrow and all the others. Like, it's really, really exciting. So yeah, Supergirl, 2 thumbs up. Okay. Misha Collins, what other shows do I watch? Well, I am obsessed with The People versus O.J. Simpson. I think that is, like, one of the most compelling shows I've seen, and I don't know, well, since I discovered Walking Dead. But obviously they're very different. But I think it's just what Ryan Murphy has done, and then with his incredible cast. And then it's another weird thing where it's like, this is when I sound like an old, but I was very much cognizant of what was going on when all of that was going down. I mean, I just started high school, I believe. And so it's a really strange thing. I think about, like, my mom, my parents, when they, like, tell stories about JFK. Yeah, obviously it's not the same thing, but they talk about, like, seeing movies based on, like, JFK or some sort of historical thing that they lived through, and then to watch the actual somewhat fictionalized recreation, even though, I mean, granted, so much of it is said to be absolutely right on the money. It's a really interesting experience, and it's like, there's a lot of pressure, I imagine, because we watched all of that unfurl on live television for all those years ago. So to see how they just nailed that, they nailed that experience, and then also the power of fictional narrative, like to take things and make them even more to take those serious aspects of that case and of that story and make them even more personally affecting. I think it's just an amazing thing that they've done. And Sarah Paulson give her every award. give her every award, and then give her hairstylist every award except for the Emmy, because that should go to our hairstylist, Teresa Marasalicio. Anyway, okay. All right. Okay. Sean Patrick says, when will we see the many different umbrellas? I don't know, but I hope soon. I mean, everyone asks, like, which one I would like the most, and I would have to say the umbrella copter from Batman Returns. Penguins can fly. That's what I want. Okay, Jody Mayer, what was my reaction when I found out Paul Rubens would be playing the character of your father? I flipped out. And, you know, I had Carol Kane, who played my mom, and Paul are friends from way, way, way back. They're best friends. And so months and months ago, Carol and I live in the same neighborhood, so I get to see her somewhat often, which is really, really delightful. And so she invited me to brunch, and she was like, oh yeah, my friend Paul will be there. And I was like, okay. And so I show up, and it was Paul Rubens. And this is way before they announced his casting. And so, but, you know, they're best friends. And so we sit down, and we had brunch. And, of course, we spent the whole time talking about how he should play my dad, and how amazing that would be, and how he played the Penguin's dad, you know, in Batman Returns, and how wonderful it would be if we could figure something, I don't know. It'd just be great to work with them, and we talked all night. So we took all day, and so I took a photo, and I sent it to Danny Cannon, who's our executive producer, and I was just like, you know, had a fun family lunch, wink, wink, and it was a picture of the three of us, and he wrote back, like, OMFG, I've been trying to get him for 2 weeks, and then, of course, like, a couple of days later, he texted me, and he was like, Paul is playing your father. And I just was like, a very similar thing happened when Carol was cast. I had actually texted my agent when I found out that I had a mom, and I texted my agent. I was like, they have to get Carol Kane. And then 2 days later, Danny texted me. He was like, Carol Kane will play your mom. And I was like, actually, I'm just going to cast this whole show. So, yeah. I was really happy about that. Let's see. Okay, another Batman versus Superman. Yep, I enjoyed it. Big shout out to Wonder Woman. Holy crap. That was real. I was so heartened by that. Like, you know, we just haven't really seen... You know, Wonder Woman was due for a new treatment. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Linda Carter. But it was due, and I was just really happy when it showed up, and it was just so badass. And, like, and she just... I don't know. It didn't ring false. It just rang true, the whole thing. So it was like Wonder Woman was, hands down, one of my personal favorite moments in Batman v Superman. Okay. Willie Show-Off Mays, favorite restaurant. Favorite restaurant is this restaurant called Jacob's Pickles. And it's here it's on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And if you ever get a chance to come to Manhattan, you should go to Jacob's Pickles. They have honey chicken on a biscuit, which is the best thing you ever eaten. It's almost like kosher soul food, which I don't know, like their matzo ball soup is insane, and like, yeah, so like Jacob's Pickles all the way, but it can get a little crowded, so, you know, try and open table that if you can. Okay, Jeff Morrow, what kind of music are you into? I'm into a lot of, that was a big shock. I'm into a lot of indie rock, and I actually listen every day. I listen to KCRW, which is the NPR station out of Los Angeles, and they have a free app. So if you're interested, and they have a program called Morning Becomes Eclectic, and it's really all of like the breaking new music of the day. Like they broke Adele for the first time in the United States, and they broke a bunch of other acts. You know, it was one of those things where we had been listening. We would like find a song in KCRW, we would listen to it for like 4 or 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden it will be like in every commercial on television, or it will be like, you know, playing on Top 40. So KCRW, indie rock. Bands that come to mind right away are Rah Rah Riot, Classics. That's another one that I really like right now. And I don't know. I'm kind of trying a brain fart. So, Marie Rebecca Main, was playing the Penguin your first choice, or did you want to play another character? Penguin was, well, I mean, I didn't really have the option. Like, I just read for it, and I'm sure as maybe some of you know, like, I didn't really know at the time what I was auditioning for. They were keeping it really hush-hush. And so, So yeah, when I found out it was the Penguin, I was totally stoked, because the other thing too is that like I didn't feel that like weird freaky pressure where it was like, like I could only imagine like playing like, the Joker and following in the footsteps of, Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger and Jared Leto now, and like just these amazing, amazing actors. Um, and yeah, and so yeah, I was really happy because I'd only, we Penguin hadn't been there hadn't been another Penguin since Danny DeVito, so it was a really, I didn't feel all of that, yeah, like pressure to live up to. I mean, living up to Danny DeVito, don't get me, that's no slouch. That kind of sucks, because I'm being, a Danny DeVito fan my whole life. Yeah, it was kind of a lot. And then, of course, Burgess Meredith. But anyway, I was just really happy that I had the opportunity to play this character and sort of bring it into today, and do a new, like, sort of spin on it that hadn't been seen before. Oh, I like this. Monica Maria Cunha, is the Penguin going to help out Gordon, or will he side with Ed? I don't know, and I'm really excited to find out, because, like, I mean, obviously, uh, Jim Gordon and Penguin will always be tied together in some way. I think they represent the dark and the light. And what they share, though, is that they share this, there's in an episode early on in the season, I believe it was the episode where Penguin finds out that Gallivan had kidnapped his mother. He has this moment, Gallivan's trying to convince him to work with him, and Penguin says, no, I'm a builder. I'm not a destroyer. And I think he shares that with Jim. Like, granted, they're building very different, two very different things they are building, but the fact that they both have a desire to make connections and not destroy, and just, I think they will always share that. Where I feel like with Ed, unfortunately, as close as he and Oswald could be, that's their main difference. I feel like Ed has no qualms with destroying Gotham City in any way. I think that he's a somewhat even more unhinged and volatile and terrifying in a way. In a way that I think it would be interesting. I think, like, should Oswald be put in a position where he'd have to choose between, some incredibly destructive thing that Ed has conjured up, or something, that's, more of a deal, like about, making connections again. I don't think it'd be really hard for him to side with Ed, because, again, Oswald is a builder. So, anyway, alright. What do I think of Fear of the Walking Dead? Sorry, I missed your name. Roxy, quick. I think it's great. I actually really do. I'm a huge fan, and I love the idea of telling the story from another place in the country. So it complements the original Walking Dead so well, because you learn things on Fear of the Walking Dead, and you're kind of not, when I watch the two, I'm always looking for any sort of parallel. I like sitting there watching the show, watching these characters go through it the way that we watched Rick and Carol and Daryl and everything, So in a way, I watch it thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder what Rick is doing right now. Like, while I'm watching the show, I'm like, oh yeah, Rick is somewhere in Atlanta, like, dealing with this same crap, except, no, wait, he was in a coma, so never mind. Trent Store, I've always wondered if, on your off days, yikes, do your friends ever want to sit down and watch Gotham? I would only watch new episodes with my friends, because I don't know. I mean, it seems really self-indulgent to, like, it's kind of like, yeah, it's like inviting people to your house and then playing, like, the video from their vacation, and, it's like, looks like you had fun. Doesn't really translate. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to go back and watch old episodes. Like, and also I hate watching myself. Like, I've gotten okay to the point where I can watch the new episodes, but I feel like, and not flip out. But I feel like if I watch them more than once, then I think, like, my I would just start getting really, really self-critical, and then it would probably spoil the whole experience for me. I like to kind of keep it as pure as I can possibly keep it. The experience, anyway. I got a notification for the rap party, which starts at 7:30. I already told you about this, but it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited. Oh, there's another notification. Great. Okay. Oh, wait. You guys, it's 30 minutes. That went by so fast. I wish we had more time, but hopefully we can do this again. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We worked really hard on it. It's very, very, very close to my heart, and this episode in particular. Unfortunately, I can't live tweet it or watch it with you guys, but just know that all of my heart and all of my soul went into, well, and all of ours, the cast and the crew, goes into these episodes, but this one in particular is very, very special to me. So I hope you enjoy it, and, hit me up on Twitter, and just sending you all the love. All right, thanks. Bye.